Private Alex Carter sat alone in a dark corner of a damp, metallic cell on the distant planet Vortexia. The atmosphere was oppressive, heavy with the scent of oil and cold metal. This cell had been his world for what seemed like an eternity, a small, enclosed space where each day was no different from the last. Across the room, the heavy door hissed open, revealing a massive Sarnak guard. Its towering form filled the doorway, its scales glinting menacingly under the harsh light. The guard moved forward, its footsteps booming like thunder in the tiny cell. "Why do you resist, human?" It snarled, its voice a low rumble that vibrated through the ground. "You cannot escape." Alex lifted his head, meeting the creature's gaze. Despite the dire circumstances, his eyes sparkled with an unbroken spirit. "Because surrender isn't part of our makeup," he replied confidently. His voice was calm, but underneath lay a steely resolve. The Sarnak laughed, a grating sound that echoed off the walls. "Foolish pride will lead to your demise," it declared dismissively before turning and leaving the cell. As the door slid shut with a resounding clang, sealing him once more in darkness, Alex wasn't discouraged. Instead, he felt a surge of determination. He wasn't just going to sit and wait for his end. He had a plan. From the shadows across the cell, another figure moved closer. It was Tyr, a fellow prisoner from the planet Grelax. Unlike Alex, Tyr was thin and wiry. His body adapted to the low gravity of his homeworld. His movements were quick and fluid, a stark contrast to the heavy, plodding steps of their Sarnak captors. "You speak of hope, human. Why?" Tyr whispered, his voice barely audible. Alex glanced around to ensure no one else could hear. "I have discovered something crucial," he whispered back. "There's a vulnerability in their fleet. We can exploit it." Tyr's eyes widened with intrigue. "Explain," he urged, his voice tense with excitement. In hushed tones, Alex detailed what he had learned from overhearing guards talk. A flaw in the Sarnak spacecraft design that could be catastrophic if exposed. Tyr listened intently, his mind racing with the possibilities. Together, they crafted a daring plan. Using a small, smuggled communicator, they contacted other prisoners within the compound. These weren't just any prisoners. They were beings from different corners of the galaxy, each captured and brought to Vortexia for their unique abilities or knowledge. As night fell on the planet, casting long shadows through the barred windows of the cell, a diverse group of aliens quietly gathered near the door. They were a motley crew, each looking different from the next, yet united by a common goal: freedom. Alex looked around at the gathered faces, their eyes filled with a mixture of hope and fear. "Tonight, we fight not just for our own freedom, but for all those oppressed by the Sarnak," he said softly but firmly. "Are you with me?" Murmurs of agreement filled the cell, the sound low but determined. Their plan was simple but risky: overpower the guards at the next shift change, seize control of a small ship, and escape the planet. The minutes ticked by slowly as they waited for the right moment. Finally, the shift change began. The door opened once more, and two unsuspecting guards stepped in. Before they could react, Alex and his makeshift team sprang into action. The fight was brief but intense. The prisoners, despite their differing sizes and strengths, worked together seamlessly. They moved with precision, taking down the guards with a surprising efficiency that spoke of their desperate desire for liberty. With the guards incapacitated, Alex led the group through the twisting, dimly lit corridors of the detention facility. They moved quickly, knowing that every second counted. Reaching the hangar, they found their target, a small Sarnak scout ship, sleek and agile. It was guarded, but not heavily. After all, who would expect prisoners to make it this far? The ensuing struggle was fierce, but the prisoners were driven by a powerful surge of hope. They overwhelmed the guards, commandeering the ship with a cheer of triumph. As the hangar doors opened to the dark expanse of space, Alex took the pilot's seat. The engines roared to life under his touch, and the ship shot out into the void, leaving Vortexia and their captivity behind. Inside the ship, the atmosphere was electrifying. Freed aliens chattered excitedly, their voices a cacophony of different tones and cadences. But Alex remained focused on the task at hand. There was still much to do if they were to truly escape the clutches of the Sarnak. Turning to Tikir, who had taken the position of co-pilot, Alex nodded. "Unity makes us stronger, no matter where we come from," he said, his voice steady. Tikir returned the nod, a newfound respect in his eyes. "Humans are indeed full of surprises," he admitted, his tone one of grudging admiration. As the stars streaked past, Alex felt a weight lift from his shoulders. They had done the impossible. Now, it was time to take the next step, bringing their crucial information to Earth Command. Their journey was far from over, but for the first time in a long while, Alex felt hope. Their escape was just the beginning. In the vastness of space, the small stolen Sarnak scout ship cut through the cosmos, its engines humming quietly. Inside, the atmosphere was tense as Alex and his motley crew of alien allies hurtled towards uncertain safety. Each of them knew the gravity of their escape and the even greater risk of what they planned to do next. "Keep your eyes peeled," Alex instructed, his voice calm but firm. He was at the helm, guiding the ship through asteroid fields and nebula clouds to avoid any Sarnak patrols. Tikir, his unlikely co-pilot from Grelax, was fiddling with the communication device they had salvaged. "We need to be swift and silent," Tikir murmured, his slender fingers moving deftly over the controls. "The Sarnak won't take kindly to losing one of their ships, especially to prisoners." Alex nodded. "As soon as we're in range, we send the message to Earth Command. Every second counts." The crew, the diverse assembly of beings from different planets, each sat hunched over various instruments or peering anxiously out of the portholes. The camaraderie of their shared struggle had forged them into a tight-knit unit, each ready to play their part in the daring plan. Suddenly, a beat from the console snapped everyone to attention. "We're being scanned," shouted one of the alien crew members, a Titran with keen sensors. "Can you jam the signal?" Alex asked, his voice laced with urgency. "I can try," replied the Titran, its 4 arms working rapidly. Tikir's voice cut through the tension. "Got the communicator working. We're in range to send the message." Without hesitation, Alex dictated the crucial information. "This is Private Alex Carter of the Earth Defense Force. I have vital intelligence regarding a critical vulnerability in the Sarnak fleet. Coordinates and details to follow. Earth must act swiftly." Tikir transmitted the message, the digital waves casting their plea across the stars. The crew held their breath, waiting for a response, any sign that their message had been received. Moments felt like hours until the communicator crackled to life. "Private Carter, this is Earth Command. We've received your transmission, preparing to act on your intelligence." "Well done." A collective sigh of relief swept through the cabin. They had done it. They had sent the information that could potentially save countless lives and turn the tide of the war. "Now, we just need to get out of here," Alex said, his eyes scanning the star-studded blackness outside. The Tetran announced that they had successfully jammed the Sarnak scan, buying them some precious time. The ship surged forward, slipping through space as they made their way towards the edge of the Sarnak-controlled zone. Their path was fraught with danger, as Sarnak patrols could appear at any moment. As they neared what they hoped was a safer region of space, Alex took a moment to address his crew. "What we've done today is more than just escape. We've struck a significant blow against a tyrant," he said, his voice filled with pride and hope. "Each of you has shown incredible courage and strength." The aliens nodded, their faces showing a mix of fatigue and determination. They knew the journey was far from over, but there was a glimmer of hope now, a chance that this small act of rebellion could lead to something greater. Just then, alarms blared. A Sarnak cruiser had spotted them. "They're on us," shouted a crew member. Alex's training kicked in. "Hold on," he yelled as he executed a series of evasive maneuvers. The ship lurched and twisted, dodging incoming fire from the cruiser. Tikir worked alongside Alex, recalibrating shields and managing power distribution. "We need to make it to that nebula." He pointed to a dark cloud shimmering in the distance. "We can lose them there." With skilled piloting and a bit of luck, they reached the nebula. The dense gas clouded their sensors, but it also masked their presence from the Sarnak cruiser. They watched as the enemy ship hovered outside, unable to find them in the murky depths of the nebula. "We should be safe here for a while," Alex murmured, finally allowing himself a moment to relax. The crew took turns keeping watch while others rested. Alex sat, staring out into the nebula, its colors swirling silently. He thought about Earth, his family, and what the future might hold. His heart ached for home, but he knew his mission was far from over. As they emerged from the nebula, the vastness of space before them seemed a little less daunting. Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had a chance to make a real difference, to contribute to something bigger than themselves. The journey back to friendly territory would be long and fraught with danger, but Alex and his crew were ready. They had shown that together, diverse beings could face immense challenges and prevail. Back on Earth, the information they had sent was already being acted upon. Strategies were being revised, fleets mobilized, and all thanks to the bravery of one human and his unlikely allies. Alex's story would eventually spread across the galaxy, a tale of courage, unity, and the indomitable human spirit. His final words to his crew echoed in the silent vastness of space. "In unity, there is strength. Never underestimate what we can achieve together. We're all in this together."